Hey everybody, Paul Kraft here from Japan IQ, bringing you another installment about Japanese retailers and how they do business. And welcome to Don Quijote. If any tourist ever comes to Japan, I have to insist that one of the things you see is a large Don Quijote store. When you think of crazy Japan or things that are in Japan like nowhere else in the world, I must insist Don Quixote is one of them. Don Quixote was started in 1998. I'll get to that in a little bit, but it's been described many things. It is a retail experience that is a sensory overload. It is a roar. It is messy, scary, cheap, exciting. It's a jungle, all at the same time. And when the founder Yasuda-san started it, he had some very interesting philosophies, and that was to do exactly the opposite of what other retailers were doing and doing exactly the opposite of common sense. The first store, before he opened Don Quixote, his very first store was called, of all things, it was called Dorobo Ichiba, which means a thieves market. And that really maybe is part of the brand promise that is Don Quixote. But when Yasuda-san opened Don Quixote, he was open all night. He realized that many Japanese, especially in the entertainment districts in Tokyo, couldn't get out. He delegated fully to store staff, so he let every store more or less operate independently. He did it with very little warehousing. He did it with hardly any capital and a very much an anything goes attitude towards his stores. Today, well, in 2019, they changed their name to Pan Pacific Enterprises, showing their global aspirations. Globally, they have 714 stores, 620 in Japan, and we're going to focus on the ones in Japan. Financially, they have 34 years of uninterrupted sales growth, which is unheard of. Pandemic, Lehman shock, whatever, always growing, and today is a $13.3 billion company. And in 2023, fiscal 2023, with the tourists coming back to Japan, they grew same-store sales by 10.4%. Again, same-store sales, not including new stores, which is amazing. The stores were built by Yasuda-san one at a time, largely organically. First one's in 1989. And then in 2007, they started buying up some competitors, mostly to get the real estate. In 2007, they bought Nagasakiya, which was a large GMS. Again, GMS is sort of a small hypermarket, but a hypermarket chain in Japan, Nagasakiya. But their big purchase was Uni Hypermarkets, having about 130 stores, and this took place about 5 years ago. They've been converting these Uni stores all over Japan, one at a time, and when they've converted, they have seen about 50% sales growth. Don Quixote purchased those stores from one of the holding companies, Itochu, and ever since then, Itochu and Don Quixote have had a very rich supply, warehousing, and sales relationship. So how do you describe what Don Quixote is? As I mentioned, it is a discount store. It is almost a home center. So, if it has mega Don Quixote like the one behind me, that means it has food. So you have to remember that food, Don Quixote now with the Uni purchase, 26% of all sales of Don Quixote are food. Really, what is it? It is an inexpensive, artificial jungle, and when they founded it, as I mentioned, they really broke many rules. They display their products in exactly opposite as Costco does. So just think of, if it's a cheap jungle, it really is a jungle. You go in there and you have, the ceilings are low, it's very cramped, and you're almost wading through a jungle of products. The aisles are packed, and the signage, the custom signage, the noise, the products almost grabbing at you, feels exactly like a jungle. They also have a philosophy of pop kozui. So a flood of signage, a flood of point of purchase materials. So people can sit down and make signs. It takes them 5 minutes, and they decorate the whole stores, and they hang everything from the ceiling, and it is no holds barred. If it increases sales, they will try it. Even the music is, if you go into the store and you hear the familiar tune, the music is set don 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 donki donki hote. Don 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 donki donki hote. Is set at 170 beats per minute. Because they designed that to elevate the heartbeat of the shoppers. I'm not kidding. Like many Japanese companies, Don Quixote is not immune to some controversy and some missteps. Not only is Don Quixote beloved by tourists, but it's also beloved by Japanese. Last year, Don Quixote, like many brands, announced a change to their mascot. Their beloved mascot for as long as I can remember has been Donpen, the blue penguin that wears a Santa hat. They were going to change it to the Do symbol here that is in the Mega Don Quixote, which also adorns their private label products. They were going to make that change, and people flooded to Twitter and Instagram and were up in arms. And it was such a big deal that the BBC actually did a story on it. And they had a vote, and 33,000 people, 93%, voted to keep the current mascot. So we still have Donpen, which is right there. One of the big differences between Don Quixote, big differences, and other Japanese retailers is the freedom that they give their individual store staff or store managers to make decisions. Each Don Quixote tends to be located in a high traffic area, whether that be like the Shibuya one here, right behind me, which is very tourist oriented, 7 floors, or it might be in a smaller city, it might be at a large freeway interchange. It could be anywhere, and each store attracts a unique shopper with unique shopping needs, and they really allow their local staff to make these decisions. They say that they have a 60-40 rule. So the 60% of all of the guidance on what to put on shelf and how to shelve it comes from headquarters. 40% is made by the local store staff. And that's a big deal because, according to the articles that I've read, 50% of the salary of the store staff is tied to individual store performance. So again, that gets to the displays, the aggressive pricing. Don Quixote and Costco actually, interestingly, really go head-to-head in competitions and really benchmark each other. Traditionally, who shops at Don Quixote? As I mentioned, every store is a little bit different, and every store has a different demographic. But one demographic that I found very interesting is that Don Quixote is not afraid to attract anybody. There is I don't know if you call it a subculture or a style in Japan called the Yankee. It comes from the Americans Yankee, but really has nothing to do with it. The best way that you can translate Yankee is perhaps a delinquent or a juvenile delinquent. You know, this may be a person, male, female, that dresses, maybe they color their hair, they have a lot of different earrings, maybe they have tattoos, maybe they dress in strange clothing. And traditionally, especially at the end of the bubble era, the Yankee was viewed as undesirable, if you will, lack of a better word, part of Japanese society. But Don Quixote didn't care. They shop and they have to purchase too. Don Quixote also maybe caters to this crowd with large displays of colored contact lenses, eyelash extensions, alcohol, you name it, they sell it at Don Quixote. This caused some consumers to say that they don't want to shop at Don Quixote because at night they're a little scared. It is what it is. My favorite comment I saw on Twitter is that Don Quixote have toilets that are not treated well. You can use your own imagination, But actually, another study I saw that says when a Don Quixote opens, crime in the neighborhood actually goes down. Similarly to their product mix and their marketing and their actions in store, they are not shy to test anything. So they will come out with test stores really at the drop of a hat. They have a Family Mart convenience store, Don Quixote tie-up store. They have an Okashi Donki, Don Quixote that are dedicated only to snacks and to confectionery and chocolate. They have a platinum Don Quixote in the Shirokane area of Tokyo, which is supposedly only premium goods. They will have large, huge corners dedicated to gummy, so they would have gummy Don Quixote. And I heard in Kita Kyushu, down in the Kyushu Island in Fukuoka, they have something called Happy Donki. Happy Donki is focused on, and I quote, health, amusement, pretty, positive, yummy. That's Happy Don Quixote. So again, they are not shy to try absolutely anything. As far as their sales makeup go, 26.3% of their sales are food. The rest are perfume, watches, health and beauty, anything. They also have their private label, which they've grown significantly in the past few years, called the Jonetsudo, and now that's brand new for them, and now that's 17.3% of sales. So you can see retailer after retailer in Japan going to private label, and that's been a big change for them. They are very into the voice of the consumer. They look at real-time data in their stores, and they might try a display, try some signage, and if it doesn't work, they will change it multiple times on the same day. As you can see behind me, this is how much traffic that these stores can get. So the feedback on what they're doing can be almost immediate. They have this thing, they had it for a while, but it looks like it's back, called the Maji voice. Maji means it's from the Japanese phrase majide, means from the heart, or I'm not pulling any punches. And they have this app called the Maji Voice, where they are looking for any and all feedback. They're looking for someone who can bring out the bad in a loving way and track it in real time. So bring out the bad in a loving way. Everyone wants to make their local Don Quixote better. In other news, while their in-store signage has traditionally been hand-drawn, you can see more and more TV screens, more and more electric or fancier displays. But also Don Quixote, Itochu, and Family Mart have partnered up with the number 2 advertising firm here in Japan called Hakuhodo to start their own media company. And what that means is they'll be putting more screens and data into not only Don Quixote, but in Family Mart. And of course, they're going to sell that to food manufacturers and people who are selling their goods in their stores. A couple things. One is, I did mention that 40% of decisions are made in the store. So even if you go to the Donki, if you're a food or you're selling your products into Don Quixote, and you are able to be ordered, it doesn't mean that you're going to be ordered. So you have to individually go to every Don Quixote store as a manufacturer or supplier to make sure that your products are there and they're displayed. So it is a flood of merchandisers called rounders in Japan. If you can hang up your displays anywhere, and the more obtrusive, the better. If you're a food manufacturer in Japan, Don Quixote is probably your number 4 customer. It's that big. And Don Quixote is a fascinating place, 680 stores, and if anyone comes to Japan, I insist that you go. All right. Let me know if this was interesting or helpful. I appreciate the feedback. And Paul Kraft from Japan IQ. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.